Just a moment, yeah. Okay, good. So I'm dropping the YouTube link, so people who cannot join via Zoom will be able to watch it live. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Let's Discuss on Decrease Dialogue. And officially, we are saying Happy New Year to everyone, and we wish us a prosperous 2026. So, without further ado, this evening, please let me know if you cannot hear me clearly. Just signify. So this evening, we have our two guests, and we'll be discussing politics today as it extends to Nigeria. As we all know, I think from this call, most of the people from this call are from Nigeria, so it will save me some further introduction. Next year is the presidential election, and it is usual that we see wave of defections, and that's what we want to discuss today. I will not be the one to introduce my guest. We have two guests here in the name of Mr. Agema and Mr. Bayode. I will give the room to them for them to introduce themselves. I will start with Mr. Agema, then to Mr. Bayode, and afterwards we can go to the questions properly. So, Mr. Agema, over to you. Please, can you introduce yourself to us?
Thank you so much for having me on your program. I'm actually, by virtue of my practice and profession, I'm actually a registered engineer. So it's next time you feel free to address me as Engineer Agema,
Okay.
which is I was so
down,
sorry.
doing everything. And tell me now it's coming. The beef and dawa cubes. No, awesome. With
Yeah, so and I'm Engineer Agema from Benue State. I'm residing in Germany, and a strong grassroots mobilizer of the ADC, and a firm believer of Peter Obi. I think one who believes in a better Nigeria and hope to see the Nigeria of our dream through our principal, Mr. Peter Obi.
Okay, thank you for that introduction. And Mr. Bayode, please.
Yeah, as you've said, and thank you for having me here today. My name is Bayode. I'm an environmentalist and a quality expert. And so I'm a member of APC, having transitioned from ACN to the version of the ACN to the APC. So it's been quite a journey over the years, over 15 years now. And yes, and I'm a quite ardent supporter of Tinubu. So that's it. And I'm here to discuss APC and to support APC and to discuss the Peter Obi ADC migration and seriousness. So,
Okay,
glad to have Mr.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. Yeah. And from both introduction, I can pick something I would like to clarify before we go. Mr. Agema, you said you're a supporter of Peter Obi, and Mr. Bayode, Mr. Tinubu. Okay, is it about the party or your individual? I throw that question to you, Mr. Agema. Is it about the party or your candidate?
So, first of all, I think this is something that we really need to clarify now. We are now in a global space where the world generally is actually being revolved or pushed by ideas. Now, for us who are strong members of the obedient movement and the ADC, we do not just look at the political space. We are not being driven by the political ideology of alphabets. We are being driven by the political ideas of integrity and those who can actually practice and preach what they represent. Now, let's take, for instance, if you look at the case of the APC and most of these political parties in the past, they had a lot of ideologies, very beautiful ideologies on paper. But because of those who are the ambassadors or who are the pictorial representations of these political parties, do not have the interest of the people at heart, you always tend to see a different result from what the alphabet or the political parties actually represent. Now, for us who are ardent and very passionate supporters of Peter Obi, we believe that this is someone who is not just being represented by political alphabets, but ideologies. And these are ideologies that we found in Peter Obi. And by virtue of his leadership, we are also seeing those ideologies being transmitted to the ADC. So both of them go together hand in hand, but we cannot separate one from the other. Unlike the case of maybe APC and some of these political parties, where you can actually differentiate the person from the political party.
Okay, so now it's not about the candidate, it's about the candidate and the party, right?
Exactly.
Okay, good. And Mr. Bayode, what do you have to that defense? Is it about the president, your candidate, or the party?
I think I'll start by saying that I've known Mr. Agema for a while now, and as at the time I met him, which is quite not so long, and maybe in the last 6 years that when we talk of political space, so he wasn't an ADC member as at the time I met him. So when he's talking about an ADC man, one will understand that at that time I met him, there was ADC. So there was Labour Party. So there were two different political parties, different ideologies. At that time, he was a member of the Labour Party. So at what point did he transition to ADC that is now coming out as an ADC member that understands the value? So Peter Obi migrated, moved from Labour to ADC officially, I think December of
31st.
to barely 10 days ago. So now he's coming out to defend ADC that he barely knows the constitution about the party. So, and going to Kogi State, we already have a member of the House of Representatives from the ADC. So, and it doesn't, those ones are not so viable members to him, but he's coming from the Labour to discuss ADC now as a core advent supporter of Peter Obi, who has failed to even take the leadership of the Labour Party after the election to sit down and make the whole party to bring about his own ideology to. He has the time now between the last election and the next election to say, okay, you guys, even if you don't understand my ideology, this is the best time for me to build it. And interestingly, the Labour Party has to be a national party, a Labour Party. So Labour Union, which are the larger population of the society. So he had every time. But he failed to manage a population of less than 1 million members, or let's say 5 million. Let me give it 10 million members. It cannot solve any crisis there. It does not have anyone that still supports their ideology from those elected within the party. So, and he's now going to ADC as a part of a crew to make sense of the party. They're not there because of Peter Obi. They just want Peter Obi to add to the numbers. So I don't really understand his migration or his movement, what the ideology is about. And he keeps saying ideology. What ideology? They're telling a clean candidacy. Oh, it's clean. Do we need a clean person or someone who has a leadership quality? So Nigeria doesn't need, we're not selling whether it's clean or not. So we are selling ideology, we are selling leaders.
Thank you, Mr. Bayode. Thank you, Mr. Bayode.
You can already see we have not even gone far, but you can already see the attributes of their leadership, their leader Tinubu being portrayed already. You can see that in this present situation of our country, someone is boldly saying that we do not need a clean leader, but what we need is someone who has leadership qualities. Now, what are the good qualities of a leader? Can you have a leader who is not clean and say you have a good leader? So, but I think the basic problem, we have a fundamental issue. And the good thing about this, we're in very interesting times. The issue at hand here is not between Peter Obi and APC. It is not between Peter Obi and Tinubu. It is APC, Tinubu against Nigeria. So this is the first time we are going to
Mr. Agema, what justification do you have for that? Yeah,
against.
I don't think it's
This is
nice when you single-handedly pick a
from
candidate.
the first introduction, I made you understand I'm a grassroots politician. So I'm not speaking from someone who is sitting in Lagos or someone who is sitting in Abuja or someone who is sitting in Germany. I'm speaking from someone who understands the grassroots implications of our people. And this what Mr. Boyo is saying here, it is something that even in Ekiti, where he comes from, he cannot go into Ekiti in his village and then make this kind of statement. Of course, these are you can already experience this in the north. Most of the politicians in the north cannot even go home. So there are security challenges. There are people.
Mr. Agema, we're going to go there. We're going to get there. Don't worry. Okay, we have questions lined up for that area.
Forgive me for this. When I start talking about the anger, the problem of our country, I actually put in emotions into this, and this is what Peter Obi is actually doing as well.
It is expected. No problem. Yeah. So I mean, the thing is now we are in the wave of political defection. You know, from the PDP to the APC, and now your candidate also defected to the ADC. In all this, you know, if I may ask, you know, where do the real interests of the citizen lie? Is it about the citizen or, you know, the personal interest of the candidates?
Yeah,
so Mr. Agema, you can do that. Yes.
I go again by taking words from my leader. Peter Obi will always make sure he tells you that if there is any arrangement, when he got into ADC, he made it very clear. He said, if there is any arrangement that it's not about the people, if there is any coalition that is not about the people, then they should count him out. Now, these are things that you hear from a leader, not someone who tells you that it is my turn. This is an Emilokonu syndrome. This is something that this is my portion this time around. But he said, if it's not an agreement or a coalition that talks about the unity of the country, then count me out. So it clearly defines the path. So it clearly shows that what we are looking at here is someone who sees the people as his bedrock. So this is something that I think is not, this kind of question should be thrown to the APC and people. I find it very interesting that as at now, you have people who still support Tinubu and the APC government. In fact, this cap is wearing, I'm not sure you can take this cap.
Thank you, Mr. Agema. Mr. Bayodi, what do you have to that? And both of you to this question, do you think this defection, you know, is doing more harm than good to our democracy? Yeah. Maybe you can just add that. Mr. Bayode, you can go then. Mr. Agema, you provide an answer to that.
I think Peter Obi's emergence as a presidential candidate has done more harm to our society than than what he's actually trying to achieve. So, with every deep sense of seriousness and humility, Peter Obi has made it difficult for an average eligible qualified Southeasterner to come out because of the emotions that his supporters has put into his candidacy. And every time you see, before the emergence of Peter Obi, we've seen leaders, and we still have them, like Orji Uzokalu is one of the finest leaders from the Southeast. Rochas Okocha, it's been alleged at one point, but not proven. And at the time the EFCC arrested him, they had to do kind of verification before he was released. This is someone who has lived across various zones of the country. He understands the cultures. He speaks Hausa fluently. He's lived there. He's done deep business there, and he has the quality. So we have several fine people from the southeast eastern part of the country that can actually represent us. We don't want a perfect man, but we want a very sound leader with a good sound mind. So it's not about, but Nigeria, unfortunately, we are a kind of emotional fueled society where people flow with the rhythm of crying. People, when they cry, when they pretend I have one shoe, people feels for them. But when the substance in the elite world, people can actually decipher who is an unserious person. We know that Peter Obi is an unserious individual. With due respect to his profession and his quality as a billionaire. But in terms of politics, Peter Obi is a disaster. It's a disaster in the sense that Peter Obi cannot even manage his vice presidential candidate. You know, when you see him and Dati talk, you see Dati, when you see him and him talk, you know that this guy is putting him on a kind of a flip or a sleep road. So you know he will sleep because he knows that it does not even understand his onions. It doesn't know what he's made of. It tells you that he's a one shoe man, but he's out there trying to evade tax by doing a kind of a proxy account in the banana. What's this? The Panama Papers. So it's trying to avoid tax. These are kind of individuals that lies around. They speak lies. In the last 2 years, Peter Obi has lost over half of his supporters, over half of his core valued supporters. So
I think
when
I
you
think Mr. Agema should be the one to. What do you
Yes.
have
no,
to say
no,
to that?
Agema
And you
cannot.
Yeah,
know,
Agema said we should address him. The other speaker said we should address
Engineer Agema.
yes,
Agema.
exactly.
So I
Yeah.
will
It's
respect him as engineer Agema, and maybe he's doing the design, maybe human design for Peter Obi, but that's a kind of a flawed foundation. So and you expect that to fail. It's actually failing because I would know. Let's wait and see because Yusuf Dati will tell us how it has flopped. And
it's
if he believes if he actually believes in him, he will still want to go to ADC with him because he was there all around trying to tell him that okay, go ahead and make these things. But at the end of the day, Peter Obi knows that. Then Agema mentioned something about the alliance. They have their rules, and no one can tell us exactly what the red lines are in the during the defection, and at what point, what are the compromise they had before joining the party. So is it the same kind of criminals that he once said they are, we have in our political space that is joining now, is aligning with the likes of El Rufai, with Atiku. So he keeps saying, my elder brother, all of you are my elder. We already know that by seeing all of you, we know that they are older than you. That's not what we are there to see. We are there to see what you want to offer us, not that you telling us what our problem is. An average adult in Nigeria understands the problem. So what are you going to do differently? Not you telling us that you are clean. What clean is a relative word. What do you mean by clean? How much of information do you have to the president that as a president? You've never been a president. So at what point of the level of your growth politically is the information you think you have that you know much about the information about Nigeria? So what do you mean by the clean? What kind of relationship you've had at the presidency level that you think your level of cleanliness will suffice to be a leader? So if you, as a graduate, as an engineer, thinks that you are comfortable for Peter Obi to lead you, then there is a problem. You have to go back to school. If you are comfortable to be under a leadership of Peter Obi,
Okay.
something is fundamentally wrong.
I think I'll
If
I'll
you have
step
spent
I'll
years
step
in
in now.
Germany,
no, no,
if you
no.
have lived in
Engineer.
Germany, sorry, let me say this because
Yeah.
you've given him time as well. If you have lived in Germany for over 5, 6 years and you've understand how system works and you think Peter Obi will be your leader, then something is wrong with your understanding. With
Are
due
you saying
respect,
something is wrong with the over 6 million people that voted for him in the last
apparently,
election?
apparently, apparently, but I respect them. They are individuals just like me. But Peter, when we talk about consistency, these are is one of the qualities of a good leader. Tinubu, whether you like him or not, whether he has made mistakes or not, he has been a consistent leader across board of every sphere of life. He's been a consistent leader. This is a person who believes in human development. These are one of the qualities that leaders should have. So
When people begin to count leadership as reduce leadership merely to the point of human development, it looks really absurd to me because it actually shows how much these people have actually taken our people backward. Now, what do you mean by human development? Are there companies owned by Tinubu that he has empowered a lot of people? But when we have reduced leadership to the stage where people steal money from our public funds and then give people for burial, give people for birthday parties, give people for terrorizing our environment, and then you say, "Oh, this man is a human developer." How has Peter Obi or how has Tinubu become a human developer? In what form? This man owns no company. This man's wealth cannot even be traced. And then you now leave someone like Peter Obi, who has empowered a lot of people by his businesses across the country. And then you call someone who has stolen from the public funds a human developer. But well, this is not surprise. It's very unfortunate that we come from a country like this where people are now bent on praising or actually uplifting this kind of moral uh, indecent behaviors. Now, you talked about Peter Obi not being able to control his party, 1 million people, and so on. Now, when we, as Africans, we understand that the core values of anyone starts from the family. They tell you the family is the smallest unit of every community. How well has your leader, who is a mobilizer of people, been able to coordinate his own family? Tinubu's wife, the so-called first lady that we have today, has been fighting. This is someone who slaps people around. Now, is that what your leader? Well, I'm not surprised. Most of his core valued people like Solomo and the rest of them, who are his right-hand men, are fond of doing this. But because Peter Obi has decided to take the path different from what you already know, which is the path of peace, the path of human, the real human development, the part of progress. We now see it as this man cannot actually handle everyone. Now, this is what you call leadership by what Tinubu is doing to Tim Fubara and Wiki, the lives of people who actually decide to suppress the interest of people.
How would you say Tinubu is the one doing that to Fubara and Wike? I think
Who suspended Fubara? Was it Peter Obi, or was it the suspension of Fubara was done by Tinubu even before the National Assembly sat to actually give any go ahead to this? He did that before coming to the National Assembly. So this was a
Mr. Bayode, can you defend your
one-man
party on
decision.
that?
A state of emergency was declared, and
best-
it has never happened in our democracy before.
the best response to ignorance of information is silence. You know, where do we start to defend what he has said so far? Do you want to start from him not understanding what the Constitution says about the president declaring the state of emergency? Or do I want to talk about him understand his level of understanding about human development? So when you say human development, how does he understand it? What kind of value does he give it a face value? So, like I said, he's an engineer, I'm an environmentalist, so I give a deeper evaluation to things. So I look at it from the social, economic, and environmental. So I give a kind of a diverse view to things. So, and also I'm a quality expert. So I understand when we talk about quality.
Sorry, I will be really happy if you could just mention 5 people that Tinubu has developed human wise. Just 5. I don't need more, just 5.
I can't. That's why. That is why.
Speakers, not to digress from the topic of discussion. You know, we still come back to
Let
this,
me
okay?
respond to him. That would be an
Okay,
assignment.
just
for
1
him.
minute, please.
That would be an assignment for him. That it's now mentioning that I should mention people aside being politicians. He has forgotten that they did not become politicians this day. They became politicians after they have been developed, and they are now grown to handle issues. So they were once sent to school. They were once sponsored to the university. They were once trained on how to manage.
Who are they? Who are they? These are
I can't
human
give you
faces,
if
right?
you don't know them. You said
I
you
want
have
to
been
know.
a grassroots politician. Go to
I
your
want to.
state. Go and ask your state people. You have Governor
You see,
there. You
and this
have
is
the
where,
secretary
if you
to the
ask anything
federal
about
government.
Peter
I
Obi,
cannot. If you don't know, I'm not responsible to train you. You have to train yourself. You train yourself by learning. You have to learn. You have to go to
Okay, thank you,
get
yes, it's
speakers.
very
Thank
clear
you,
that
on the
speakers.
internet.
it's
If you
Okay.
very
don't,
clear.
I'm not
Okay.
responsible for you. Peter Obi
Okay,
is responsible
thank
for
you,
you.
Mr.
So if
Bayode.
he can
Thank you.
learn from madman, Peter Tinubu did not learn
Thank you.
anything from madman. So your
Thank
own
you.
leader that you are supporting gets information from madman, and you are asking a sane person to ask you to teach you. No, go back to the madman and ask your questions from the madman. He can tell
Okay,
you what to.
thank you, Mr.
So
Bayode.
someone
Thank
who
you,
his
Mr.
family does not even
Bayode.
believe in him, his wife does not even believe in
No,
his
no, no,
vision.
no, no. You cannot say this about Peter Obi. His wife believes in him, but his wife has refused to take the part of
supporting his ideology or supporting his
fighting on
campaign.
the
Did you
streets.
ever see the wife? Did you ever see the wife after the election in Nigeria supporting
So
his movements?
you prefer Peter Obi's wife to contest for Senate or for the House of Rep position before you
It's
know
not
you
that
want to support of him?
I don't want that because
Okay,
Tinubu
thank you,
supported
Mr.
his wife
Bayode.
because
Thank you,
Tinubu
Miss.
understand that his wife is not his property; it's
How
a
I wish you were
companion.
from Lagos. By
His
now,
wife
Sheyi
is
will
not
become
his
your
property;
governor
his
one day.
wife is a companion. So if you have the same ideology like Peter Obi, you better shelve it. Your wife is your property; it's not your property; it's a companion. So as at the time your wife was growing up, your wife understands her ambition. She has what she wanted to do, and you still have to give her the opportunity to become whoever she wants to become without you bearing a gamer. So at the end of the day, she still has a life. So let her live. Just like the wife of the president who wanted to become a senator,
I
and
think
the husband gave him the
Kule,
opportunity
we
to
were.
become a
I
senator.
actually.
Thank you so
I
much.
like. Okay.
Agema and Engineer Agema and Mr. Bayode. Thank you. We'll still come back to the discussion. So, not to digress from the topic of discussion, I want to throw this to you, Engineer Agema. Over the months, APC has been alleged of trying to, slide all the parties into a one-party system. With the defection of your candidate now into the ADC, do you think the allegations still hold?
I think. I think it's. Of course, I will. I will. I will accept you saying this as alleged because probably
I
because of
already
the.
said alleged. I already said
Yes,
alleged.
that's what I'm saying. I will accept alleged because of the information you have, but this is not a case of an alleged issue. This is a fact. This is something that Tinubu's government and the APC are very intentional about. This is something they are deliberately trying to undermine our democracy. And it's seen everywhere. Now, you could see the crisis in Labour Party. This was instigated by Tinubu and his likes. When Tinubu first heard that they were planning to have this coalition, what did he first do? He first sent his sponsors to go to the INEC and register the same party with our proposed party that was supposed to be registered.
I know when you cannot uh, bring the fact,
Uh,
would
wh-
you? I mean, can you
which
try to use allegedly?
which fact are we looking for? The fact that
Okay, so this party,
The
what is
fact
this
that
party?
INEC
What is
refused
this
to
party
register
called?
our political party until when we come to ADC, then they registered. Now everything now started moving fast. Is that what you call you call fact? Is it or is it a what's it Abure that has been having meeting with Tinubu's ministers? And then you say these are okay. Which other fact are you looking for? But this is, I think, it's not something that is hidden. It's something that is well known.
So
That
now, with the
Tinubu is a
defection of
one party.
candidate, can we discard this allegation
Of
now?
course, no, it's not a matter of discarding, but with the defection of my principal,
So do you
it's
think
it,
that
it
now that your party is still there, allegedly the APC still has influence over the
no, no, no,
party
no, no, no,
ADC?
no. What the move that was taken by the ADC, this coalition, was actually a move that outsmarted all of them. And this is why you see my brother Boyos recommending Odios Okalu and Rocha Sokurucha to as people who are well fit to fit into big shoes, because they are looking for every means as possible as they can to fill in people who are very weak and people who do not have the people's appeal, just for them to be able to make a caricature of this movement. It's not him alone. You hear people, most of them now. You hear them bringing so much propaganda. Oh, ADC is for Atiku. Just because they want to put fear. Obi comes when Obi steps into any environment, or Obi coming into the political space, he comes with something that has never been seen in any political environment in Nigeria. Obi is right now. Obi is the face of Africa. It's not just the Obi emerging as the president of Nigeria come 2027. We give a lot of hope to the entire Africa. So this is, of course, when there tends to be this kind of political revolutions, you have a lot of opposition. So, and Tinubu and the likes of APC are right now trying to oppose every possible chance that we have to liberate the people from this. You see this Bola Tinubu's cap. this is a cap of shackles. People who have been put into shackles of poverty, shackles of illiteracy, shackles of everything that comes with sufferings. And I'm surprised that someone will put shackles of poverty, shackles of underdevelopment, and they put it on their cap, on their
Thank you
head.
so much. Thank you so much, Engineer Gema. Mr. Bayode, can you just respond to that allegation? Is it true that your party is trying to slide Nigeria into one-party system?
I think one of the problems we have as a nation with the resident is the lack of us taking responsibility for our failures. See, we are talking about adults. There was no time they were forced to do anything. But, it's unprecedented. That's why we believe that they are being coerced to join in. Because it's unprecedented to see a leader who does more of work than listening to rabble rousers. So you're talking about, and let me correct something. He mentioned, Engineer Gema mentioned that people are trying to mention some people to fit into Peter Obi's shoe. Those people I mentioned are not thinking of Peter Obi's shoe because their size are bigger than Peter Obi. So Peter Obi doesn't have a shoe. His own shoe is one shoe that he's been wearing forever. These are people that we know that they are rich. We know that they are wealthy in terms of human development, in terms of people around them, and they change shoes. But Peter Obi has been using shoes, and the next time he thinks about anything, he talks to a madman. So these are people that talks with sane people, not madmen. So I'm not comparing them in that context. I'm comparing that they are far better. So people should give them time. People should give them listening here. But Peter Obi has taken a space of emotion. So we are talking about adult leaders, and because of the failure of other political parties to man their home, they are looking at the great leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has, in first time in history of Nigeria, constructed a landed road, not on water, for Bonny Island Road. It has never happened. The good Lord Billy Jonathan felt that it was impossible. We need fasting and prayer to get it done. But this man did it. So there are things we have thought that Nigerians thought they could not happen. So you don't need Tinubu to go to Bonny Island to campaign before they vote for him. That's going to happen because if you're a 70-year-old man from Bonny Island, you've never seen a road, a landed road to Bonny Island in the history of your life. So Tinubu, I've seen that false news. Tinubu, Mr. Anthony Elliott said Tinubu did not
you
conduct
can
the
see
conducting.
you can see the propaganda with the APC.
Yeah,
I can
Tinubu
also
did
see
not.
that.
Mr. Elliott, I appreciate that for you confirming
We are
that
still
news.
going to give members to talk, so
But I will
you
tell
can
you
continue.
for free that it was not started under the leadership of your good Lord Jonathan. Neither was it started under Olusegun Obasanjo. So if you have those facts, you can bring it up. If you have the fact of the information. So I'm a learned person. I don't know about other people, but I'm learned. I understand that I don't think from the space of my assumptions and validate it. I go with facts. So when you say you assume that the face of good leader of Africa is Peter Obi, someone who has never led any population of 20 million before, is the leader of the face of Africa. It's okay for you to live in your illusion. I will not be part of those illusions. So, but it's okay for you to live in that. You will still live
Okay.
in that after post
Thank
2027.
you,
You will
Mr.
still live in that
Bayode.
illusion.
Thank
I
you,
respect your bubbles.
thank you.
I
I
respect your
mean,
bubbles.
I'm very glad that both of you can actually, defend your
it's
candidates, which is
it's
good. Yeah, which is good. And my question now to Mr. Gem, I remember when we started, you said it's about the party and it's about the candidates.
yes.
What would you want in APC? I mean, in ADC, sorry. Would you want a consensus candidate or a primary election? And
Now
what chance, does your candidate has in a primary if you agree to for a primary in a primary with an Atiku and Amechi?
now this is
And now, lastly, on that question, what happens if your candidate fails to secure the presidential ticket?
Now, this is one thing that is very common and very fond of the APC and Tinubu. The issue of ensuring that they eliminate every form of challenges or anyone who opposes or who stands against it. This is totally different from my principal. Obi has made it very clear, or the ADC has also made it very clear that we are not in ADC to be handed over the presidential ticket on a platter of gold. No, we are here to explain our ideologies and what we represent to the people, and then have this general acceptability. We believe strongly that when we are being accepted, or when this acceptability comes from the people, only then will the election even become easier. If you look at Obi has never spent so much money as compared to other people, because his elections are actually being bought by the electorates themselves, because they believe in him. Now, you talked about the chances of Amechi, Atiku. We don't have any problem going into the
But
battlefield.
don't forget, that was why he left PDP in the last.
No, he left PDP. He left PDP. That was not the reason. Obi left PDP because the whole thing became a money bag politics. And for Peter Obi has always made it very clear that any political agenda that is not about the people, but the display of wealth, display of money, display of vote buying. Count me out of this.
So what was going to be different, because that same Atiku then is now the same
Yes.
Atiku now,
Now,
and is
now,
the same ADC. What's going to be
now,
different now?
Atiku,
Are we expecting your candidate to also leave the ADC?
now what if like I told you, I have been into this game for a very long time. If you follow the antecedent of PDP came into power. Power was handed over to them from 1999 when Obasanjo took over. And from there, they had this. If you remember, as at 2000, you had this thing in the local government that was called cash flow. So by cash flow, they actually meant that when money comes into the state, the local government level, and then after all the money has been used, then the remaining was actually cash flow for sharing. So the ideologies of PDP itself believe so much in the distribution of money change hand politics. And this is why it was very easy for all these activities to be orchestrated. So coming into ADC, it's now a different ballgame. We are not encouraging, because they have seen the impact of this. It is because of this money politics that Wiki has taken over PDP. Now ADC has a different approach to these things, and it is no longer going to be
Okay.
the
How do you know your candidate just barely, not
no.
even up
It
to
is
14 days now in
when Obi
ADC?
was
And
decamping.
as of today,
Engineer Gema, Engineer Gema.
ADC is currently reviewing their. I mean, ADC is currently review their constitution,
No,
probably to allow for the new members to be
no,
able to
no, 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 no,
participate in the
no.
primary
Let me correct you
as
on
at
this.
today.
No,
So
let me correct you at this. When Obi joined, when he not even joined, when Obi came into ADC on the 31st of December, he made it very clear. He said he's not decamping, and he is not just joining. Obi has been a member and part of ADC. Remember, if you could
So
recall what happened.
You know,
Eh,
I'm
eh,
sorry, I'm trying to ask,
yes,
but I need
of
to
course,
clarify
it's
better.
my.
You understand?
You are not a
So
member of
now,
this.
when you said Obi has been a member of ADC,
Yes.
at what point
Yes, that's
can we
what I'm.
allege him of anti-party
No, 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 no.
activities?
If you recall, before the coalition kicked off, Obi and El Rufai, because they had elections in their various states, for Labour Party and then for SDP in Kaduna State, under the leadership of distinguished Senator David Mark, they had this waiver to go and finish every ongoing business in Labour Party and SDP before coming to ADC. So it was a well-arranged agreement. But or let me not say people, but the APCs wants to send this propaganda around
Okay.
just to make people feel that Obi is just.
I'll
Obi
ask
is
you
not the
this
case.
question before I go to Mr. Bayode. You understand? There is this movement that the other candidate in the ADC should allow Peter Obi to take the primary. I mean,
Yes.
that's the obedient movement, and I know you actually is. So, I mean, an obedient also. And I was watching the news yesterday. Dele Muhammadu said it's an insult for anyone to say that. Um, is that not the beginning of confusion in the party?
No. Now
Because
this is
I'm of the opinion that you just came 10 days and this whole
it.
movement of you have to
It
step down, which
it
I'm
is
very
not
sure
it
you're
is
very
not
aware of.
Peter Obi. It is not Peter Obi. These are the people, the Nigerians, not just people, the Nigerian movement. I told you 2027 is going to be between Peter or Tinubu, APC, and Nigerians. It is Nigerians that are saying, don't waste our time. Don't go into the primaries with
So
Atiku.
the question I'm asking, you
Give
have
us Peter
answered,
Obi.
but the question I'm asking is that, we have plan A, plan B. What if your candidate fails to get the primary ticket
Of
in
course, if
ADC?
he
What
will,
happened? What's the next thing? Do you want us to move to another party? Or
Obi,
like you said earlier,
Mhm.
is he going to support the, candidate that makes it to the primary?
Obi has said it. He has said it. He said, we have Nigeria, not just Obi, every Nigerian knows this, that we have never had it bad as it is now. So Obi knows that even if Atiku, which Amechi or any other person that even assumes the mantle of leadership now, we perform even better than Tinubu. There's no leader in ADC that
So
will be worse than what Tinubu has already taken us to.
you have the opinion that if your candidate does not make it to the primary, he's still going to stay, he's going to support the
It's not
emerging
even
candidate.
it's not even the issue of my candidate making it or not. We are not even talking about the primaries. We are talking about unseating Tinubu because for the primaries, we already have the ticket. The ticket is meant for Obi, and there is nothing. This is a non-negotiable
And
deal.
and, and now that's the issue I'm having now. So how do you know that the ticket is for B?
How do
Because
I know?
my little
Now
political experience, I do not think Obi is going to have it free and fair in the place where an Atiku is.
it is. We have gotten to a point. Most of the politicians that we have, a lot of people think that politicians are stupid, but this is not the case. Every Nigerian politician knows that if you want to really give Tinubu the kind of opposition that he needs or he deserves, it's an Obi. Now, when they get into the poll, this is not the first time it's happening. Jonathan was a president, an incumbent. He gave out money. The Dasuki Gates, a lot of billions were distributed, yet he lost the election. So even if Atiku decides to go with the path of money politics, I can assure you today that Nigerians, the delegates, are going to take this money and then do what is right. So
Are you real? You are sure of what you are saying, right? Because
I-
I remember you said that was the same reason why he left the PDP the other time because of
because
money.
he left because in this case it is not going to be something that will really be accepted.
So
It's not going to be open.
how will the obedient accept that if
How-
your candidate does not make it to the primary and decided to stay in the ADC?
of course, let me.
How is
We are.
obedient going to perceive that? And Mr. Bayode, I told this question to you. Now that Obi has defected to the ADC, what do you? It's a big. We cannot, undermine Obi, someone who had 6 million votes in the last election. Um, how do you see that? Is it going to be a tough challenge for your party? You are on. Please unmute.
Let me first make this statement. It's very clear that the topic is Obi moving to the ADC. So you've given him more time. And one of the reasons I presume, is that they are not clear. So and you can see him speak. So seeing him speak still bring more confusion. So it tells you about their own space, that they are confused people. So then it speaks as if it does not know the difference of the primaries and the general election. So when you're talking about the primaries, it's more of delegates. So it's not emotionally based. They are core members of the political party. So and those parties are those membership are more of the support they directly have, those who believe in them. So you have stakeholders in the party that is much more than the Labour Party ran from. So it's avoiding to face the reality in Labour Party, is now running to where we have the gorillas, the hyenas, and all of those people trying to come up with their political expertise. So this is a man that does not understand anything politically. It does not. Whether we put it emotionally, Peter Obi is a very dumb political man. With due respect to his proficiency in business, and business
Politically,
acumen.
Peter Obi no sabi.
Is
But
that not
Nigerian
a
politically,
hard
politics
one
is
to
not
use? Is that not a
camp.
hard one to use on His Excellency?
Nigerian politics is for hyenas and gorillas.
so please, if you can meet the other person. But Peter Obi, he does
Audience,
not.
please, I will give you time to
Peter
talk.
Obi does not
Yeah.
understand anything. Sometimes you think he doesn't even know what primary means. When the way he moves, it's as if he doesn't really understand what primary moves is. So he thinks that those people that says they want him are the people that decide who the flag bearer is. So you have to first go through the stage before you see those people that are tweeting their votes on Twitter space. They vote in person, not on Twitter. So, but you have to first go through the whole thing before you before you say you are a student of a university. You first get to pass the jam.
Not
Then,
yet.
then after the
Thank you,
jam,
thank you.
you pass.
That's actually not trying to be on the side of Mr. Bayode, but actually it's something that is exactly
No, but
that was what I was trying to point out to
no,
you,
no, but the issue is
Engineer Gema.
the issue is
Primaries are
the
not
issue is
by the
no, no.
supporters; they are by the
Let me
delegate. And looking at it,
have you
Atiku has a structure in
no, no,
ADC.
no.
I'm
So
just being
no, of course I understand your point, Kule.
my point. So
And
how I mean,
I let
to
me
me,
explain to you.
you're obedient, and like you said, you're a
No,
grassroots
let me
politician.
explain this
So
to
maybe
you.
you know more than me. So the
Yes,
thing is,
let me
how do
explain.
you see your candidate emerging as the primary, presidential candidate
Let me explain this to
in
you.
the ADC?
As at now that we are speaking, we have not even decided the kind of primaries that should be done in ADC, whether if it's going to be direct or an indirect primaries. Now, I don't know if because this kind of primaries rarely happen in APC, so they might not even have an idea of these two different primaries. But when you have these direct and indirect primaries, if you go to the indirect primaries where you have the people being deciding who should represent them, you understand that clearly Peter Obi is a grassroots man. But even if this in this case it's actually not considered, I want to go by the delicate form of primaries that is usually done. Peter Obi is not in this race alone. And as much as it is, a lot of people tend to underrate Peter Obi because he's not the noisemaker kind of politician. But this was somebody who was a governor in one of the most powerful states in Nigeria, Anambra State. And he did not, this power was not handed over to this man. He went through every democratic means of attaining this position. It is his strategy. He went to Labour Party. When he got to Labour Party, he was in Labour Party for less than 1 year. And he was able to win 13 states. 13 states with over 6 million votes. And then this is the same person that and he did this alone. Remember, he did this without any support from any of these so-called high gorillas that you tend to portray them. Now, Peter Obi is not alone. Peter Obi has the lives of Babachir Lawa. These are core grassroots politicians that have been in the game for more than 30 years. He has El-Rufai. So these are people right now you will not actually see because we are waiting for let INEC open the space for campaigns. And then you will see
Okay.
our strategies being rolled out. But I can tell you
Okay.
that Peter Obi, with full assurance, that Peter Obi is going to become the flag bearer of ADC.
Okay,
This is
yeah.
something I can tell you.
Thank you very much for that. I will give room for the participants to join now, but before that, I will give both of you a question to ponder on, then we can close with that. To Mr. Bayode, how do you sell someone who on the first day of inauguration remove subsidy? I've been doing a lot of economic reforms, but based on the uh, perception of people in Nigeria, it's like nothing is happening. One. And to you, engineer gamer, how do you sell a candidate who cannot solve the problem of his party but just have the only one option of the campaign to another party? A party is just a micro structure of a nation. So if he has same problem, eventually he emerges as the winner of the 2027 election, what will be the option? So that's the question you people can think on. Then I will start with the Mr. Timitope. Please, can you unmute yourself and talk? Then I will go to the iPhone user. Then yeah, Mr. Timitope, can you say something? Okay.
Thank you very much. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much, Engineer Gemma, Mr. Bayode. I'm an OB supporter, but I don't attach myself to the obedience. First and foremost, there's a thin line between politics and governance. Don't let us mix it. Politics is a game of number. There are certain things Mr. Bayode is saying that is right, Engineer Gemma. I support Obi, but there are things Mr. Bayode is saying is right 100%. I'm a grassroots politician from the ACN days, Surulere constituency 2, from ACN to APC in Lagos. Femi Bajambia Mila was representing Surulere constituency 1. My constituency is 2. You see, for you to win a ticket in a party, you have to win the soul of the delegates. There's no emotions to it. You can, like Engineer Bayode, Mr. Bayode said, before you call yourself a graduate, you must pass JAM. You can be the best student. You are brilliant. But if you did not pass that JAM to study medicine in UI, you can't be a UI graduate. Emotions don't run it. Before Obi, to be candid, before Obi can get ADC presidential tickets, Obi must beat the likes of Atiku, Rotimi Amechi in the primaries. And the truth, don't let us use emotion. Obi can't beat those people. Because those delegates, the way grassroots politics runs, those delegates will collect money. It has been as age as the from 1993 primary election SDP in Jos. Delegates is one of the, let me say, the cancer in Nigerian politics. The delegates, even people in the ward, up to the ward area, they have issue with delegates. The delegates will collect money and go for what pays their pockets. Even in APC, delegates collect money. And even the person that gives delegates money will want to go and even look for the delegate that I gave you money, you didn't vote for me. I'm an Obi supporter, but the truth being told, in that ADC, the lives of Atiku, the lives of Rotimi Amechi, Obi can't get the presidential ticket. To me, as I said, the politics is a game of number, not a game of emotion. It's a game to win power. I believe Obi is playing a game. Maybe because the problem there's the problem in labor, he can't solve it. The problem in labor that labor has now is an allegation that, and someone is saying people are saying Tinubu wants to make Nigeria a one-party system. It's an allegation. Nobody is a baby. He's a politician, as I said, it's a game. He will, if he approaches you, whatsoever ideology he sells to you, if he offer you money, if they come to his party, as I said, it's a game. Are you with me? It's a game of number. +1 to APC is a plus to them. +1 to ADC is a plus because it's number that will win at the poll. But for you to first get your name to that poll, you have to know your game to get that ticket. That is the primary reason Obi left PDP. Obi have saw the green light that they won't give him the ticket because of the life of
Thank you, Mr. Temitope. Mr. Agema, you can note that down. You will still talk to it also, okay?
He left there. Yeah. He went to a political party that he won't have to go for delegates. Okay. That's his school of thought of I don't pay shishi. If it concerns delegates, you will pay more than shishi.
Okay.
That school of thought you don't pay shishi. In Nigerian politics, or not governance. We are talking of politics now. Okay, you go pay more than shishi.
Thank you so much for that contribution. Then iPhone, that's Mr. Tunde. Yeah, Mr. Tunde, you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. My very good friend, Engineer Agema, it's good to see you. Happy New Year. And my fellow progressive, Mr. Bayode, you have done very well. My first point was going to go to Engineer Agema, and I wanted to come in when he was talking about PDB structure of cash flow. So first, it's a are we talking about politics of ideology here? ADC is filled with PDP, right from your current chairman, who was the former Senate president, who is from your state, right, to Rotimi Amechi, to Nasir El-Rufai, and of recently, the almighty Peter Obi. So these are the people that crumbled Nigeria first things first. PDP. 16 years of PDP is where we are today. Now, if you follow PBAT, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Asiwaju himself, his politics is a politics of ideology. He wants a progressive system, a progressive state. Now, speaking about how Peter Obi is going to get ADC's ticket, ADC ticket is done and dusted, buried. Atiku is going to emerge the presidential candidate of that party. In terms of might for might, structure for structure, leveraging on what they've achieved in 2023, at least politically, Atiku is coming to get that ticket. Now, my question to you, Agema, is this. Let's go beyond Mr. Temitope that has spoken. He had addressed the issue of whether they're going to give him the ADC ticket or not in terms of delegate and all of that. Let's go to the general election. Do you see an ADC defeating a Tinubu that defeated a Buhari government while Tinubu is the one sitting in power? Yes, there's this thing. I'm not even going to hammer on the fact that they say Tinubu has never lost an election. No, that's not what I'm trying to say here. But Tinubu is not Jonathan. I'm sure you've heard that rhetoric over and over again. But it's not just about saying it. Tinubu will not sit down and lose that presidency to another party. And in terms of whether he wants to make Nigeria a one-party state or whatever, he is not forcing the governors to come and meet him. Everybody is fighting for their interest. They say in politics, there's no permanent friend, there's no permanent enemy. The only thing that is permanent is interest. And you go to where your interest is protected. That's why Yeson Wike is running up and down, seeing that it seems that his interest is probably not being supported by Mr. President anymore. So it's all about interest. Now, what is Peter Obi's interest in ADC? How does he align with that of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar? How does he align to the likes of Rotimi Amechi? Even the Bible says, can two work together unless they agree? What agreement are these people having? And you know what? This your spokeswoman, what's her name? Aisha Yesufa said, God forbid her to be able to roll with the people of Atiku, the likes of Atiku and the likes of Rotimi Amechi, but she's the spokesperson for your party now. So what kind of people are those the kind of people you want to present to Nigeria, where you say A yesterday and today you are saying B, tomorrow you are going to say Z? What is the integrity level of that political party, ADC? Engineer, again, I want you to just, allay my fear. Maybe I may sway towards that side,
Thank you so much. Yeah, Mr. Agema, you are going to respond to that also. Please be noting that down, okay? And I want Mr. Timmy to talk. Then after that, Team L will talk. Yeah, Mr. Timmy, can you unmute yourself and say something?
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I just read from the comment section. I think someone said change is far from Nigeria, or change is still far from Nigeria, and that is still my opinion. I feel like both Peter Obi and then Tinubu, they're just still Peter Obi is confused. He has the integrity that we need from a leader, but every other thing is not available. And then for Tinubu, should I say it's like a charismatic leader, but the interest of the people is missing. And then I feel like for Obi, is it possible for him to create a political party where we would know that, okay, I also believe, I wish that Obi would win, but from the way things are, it feels like he himself doesn't know what he's doing yet, or he only has the integrity, no other thing. Is it possible for him to create a political party where we would know that, okay, we don't have anything to do with Atiku and the rest, where we would know that, okay, this is strictly for obedience, and then whatever he's able to do, we will know that. Because for now, if you had left PDP to, I think he was in PDP before, to Labour Party, and then we are in ADC, definitely we will still move from ADC to another thing. Yeah, so that is like I said, to me, I wish he can win, but I feel like he doesn't. Aside the numbers, statistics, and all of that, the integrity, he doesn't. He doesn't seem to know what he's doing
Have
yet.
the
Yes,
You say
as
he
in,
doesn't have the structure, right? Is
yeah,
that what you're trying
the
to
structure,
bring
like,
out?
yeah.
Okay, Mr. Agema will respond now, but Mr. Tokumbo, yes, you can talk. Then Mr. Agema, you respond to all this.
So good evening, everyone. I joined quite late, but it's been a successful, time so far. I'm enjoying myself. So first, Mr. Gema, you gave your statistics about the numbers of states that was won. Sorry, you said 13, but unfortunately, it was just 11 plus the FCT. And my concern about Obi is one, it doesn't speak with or analytical reports, right? It just brings things out of the blue and talks about them. Something a common person would even question. So for me, I just see like a mini Trump in him, like someone who does not have the interest of the people. You just bring out values that are not factual, or you talk about things that are not in existence. You can just bring up a petroleum issue and you start saying things about tanker. You are talking about things. You're not giving us in depth of how this will benefit the nation, right? So now, if you look at his political journey so far, right, he's moving, and we don't even know where he's still going to land in the end, because I'm definitely sure after the primary election, himself and some other people will still leave that party and create something new. Unfortunately, it may be late, but the brain behind all this is just for them to I would say maybe I wouldn't say copyright. It's just like having the same storyline with how ACN formed into the APC and how they were able to get the numbers, right? So now these guys are very smart. Atiku and the rest, right? Atiku somewhat needs the number from the East. And the best way they could do is just to sell this idea to Obi. So tell me, how can 5 or 6 captains come together for the same purpose, and then in the end, you want to pull someone out of these same ambitious people? How can that happen? So these are just the simple questions that I feel you can explain or probably let us know from your side.
Okay, Mr. Agema, over to you.
Okay, I
Thank
think
you.
I want to thank each and every one of you who has actually shown concern about all this. I don't see it as any challenging thing, but I understand that you really want a better Nigeria, considering all the points you have raised. First of all, when you talk about, I'll first tackle the issue of the first speaker who expressed his fears about the primaries and how the money is being exchanged, and said if shiship must come into play before any of this. I agree with him totally. Right from the time of 1999 to date, the delegates have been a major problem in our democracy because they are the ones who actually provide us with candidates, either good or bad. They make decisions at that. And I also want to, maybe he mentioned something that is very important to note. He said when Obi discovered that this was the same thing that was about to happen in PDP, he ran away. Now, hasn't it also occurred to him that the man who ran away from PDP because he saw that this was about to happen to him is still that smart to run away from ADC if he knew that this was going to happen? The case here is different. I understand that we are dealing with people who we refer to as the devils in the Nigerian politics. So we tend to be afraid of what the next outcome might be. But from our calculations, from our permutations, it is very clear that the primaries is going to be where we are going to start selling ADC. It is from the primaries that they're going to give us this leverage for Nigerians to understand the genuine interest of this party. And don't look at it from Obi decamping from Labour Party, ABGA to APC to ADC. This is a coalition. It's a coalition. It's not someone decamping. He did not decamp from Labour Party to ADC, as we are calling it. Labour Party, you still have some Labour Party members who are also members of this coalition. You have members of the L5, was even till the last dying minute, he was nominated for minister under Tinubu. So it's a coalition of people who have come together to be able to unseat Tinubu, to be able to unseat the APC government because of what is happening in the country. And let us not fail to realize that people are not having it easy back home. And the people who are not having it easy back home, the politicians who are going to be delegates, also understand this. Every politician's first interest is for them to win election and to be at the seat of power. So you cannot, even though money is going to exchange hands, that you have said, if in terms of money, I am not saying we from the obese camp, we are going to just sit and then watch things to play. We are also going to do some lobbying. It must not necessarily be the lobby of giving money to different people. But we also have our own selling points that we are going to sell out to these delegates. Now, if we are taking the 36 states from our permutations, most of the leaders of ADC, because I know how delegates also run. That's why if you look at the primaries, most times you see delegates wearing uniform. The reason why they are wearing this I should be uniform is for them to be able to identify, hey, you are for me. Now, the leaders of these ADCs from every state, they already have this bias alignment already. And as I'm talking to you, we already have the structures. People say, Atiku only has these structures in the north. How many northern states do we have? And when I say north, I'm not including North Central. No. I am talking about this structure, this Atiku so-called structure. It's only the north. All the delegates from the east are to be. 80% of the delegates, because we have all 5 states or in the north central, almost half of this, they have Obi. Who are the leaders of ADC in Nasarawa? Who are the leaders of ADC in Benue State? Who are the leaders of ADC in Plateau? So these delegates are going to go with Obi. In the south, where it's going to be kind of dicey because of the Amechi factor, we also have 1 or 2 alignment that could be done. In the core northwest, we have the likes of Babachiri Lawa, who are going to do the mobilization for us. El-Rufai there is in Kaduna. So people say structures, probably because, of course, Atiku is a big politician. We are not underrating him. But people see this one from the angle of Atiku has been into this game for a very long time. But the odds presently do not favor Atiku. There are always this sentiment of this is the north, this is the southern time, this is northern time. Even the north, what happened during the time of Jonathan and the Tinubu and this guy Lawan? The reason why Lawan lost this election was because when Tinubu got into the primaries, even the northerners, some of them stood against Lawan and Buhari, and they said, no, this is the time for the southerners, and we cannot be a part of this movement. So what has changed? If not because this is a kind of false ideology that the APC is trying to push to discourage people from supporting Obi, is not going to get a ticket and that. What has changed? The North, when it comes to the real issues, the North will show who they really are. And they have always stood for the right thing. They will tell you, no, this is not our time. And then they'll go with the right person. So the odds don't favor Atiku. This is what I want you to. If you are a supporter of Peter Obi, you should not be relaxing now or feel discouraged that we are not going to get a ticket. For us, as supporters of Peter Obi, we are now mobilizing the grassroots because we are done with the primaries. We believe we are already there. We are now looking at unseating Tinubu. That is the primary focus about this.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gema. I like it here. You're being optimistic, and probably
the second question
we'll still converge later. Yeah,
yes,
to
the
discuss that.
second question you talked about is someone talked about the policies of Tinubu. It is my brother
Maybe
Tunde.
okay, yeah, okay. You
My
can
brother
just,
Tunde talked
if
about
possible, just within 1 minute, you can give
okay, yes,
response.
I'll be really fine. I talked about the policies of Tinubu, And I really find it is quite interesting because it's these are people who if not for whatsoever reason they have decided to be against the people. No one should be talking about the policies of Tinubu. Tinubu has no policy that considers the masses. People talk about removing subsidy and doing this. When Tinubu removes, is the life of an average Nigerian better? Now, he has increased the electricity tariff. He has increased he's talking about the tax regime now of taxes and everything. Things are going to go higher. Has the minimum wage, has he ever considered that, okay, now everything is going higher because of I have done this, I've done this, I've done this. Has he thought about reviewing the minimum wage? Tinubu will never be interested in such topics. He's only interested in making his friends richer. And this is what we are against. I think
And
it's quite unfortunate. It's quite
thank you so
unfortunate.
much, Mr. Agema. And maybe we have a question for you again. I want Priscilla. Yeah, you can just unmute and say something. Then we go back to Mr. Bayode to answer the question I asked earlier. So Priscilla, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, I've unmuted.
Okay, good.
So first, I would like to drop one or two before I ask a question to Mr. Bayode. First, they say P2B has no structure. Structure failed Nigeria. Competence is what builds that very structure we are all looking up for. Then when they talk about that he may not win the primary, please, before parties form a coalition, there is always an internal talk that goes on how they're going to, because what I believe that their goal is to take over power from this incumbent APC. So there must be an internal conversation that must have happened. And I believe they have strategies in place on how they're going to go about it. They didn't just form a coalition so that they will come and fail woefully. So they are taking ADC's article. I don't believe that. Since it's a coalition, there must be an agreement. And even the article himself must also come to an agreement at a point. So let us not assume things on our own. Thirdly, he may be a stingy man, but saving public money is not stinginess. It's responsible governance. And people will say, Tinubu may be a master strategy. Strategy without improved living standard is not success. People will say, Nigeria is a complex unit. Nigerian problem is mismanagement, not complexity. Let's be honest with ourselves. And then it really baffles me how a lot of us that, that are privileged to gain Western exposure, we still be dwelling in some policies that doesn't make sense. The policies being that Obi does not do this, he left Labour Party for this. Let's be honest, with what is going on in Labour Party, who in his right senses will stay there? There are two factions. The Supreme Court has declared one faction, not even the Aburo faction as the legitimate ones. So there is fire brewing in Labour Party. You don't even know which faction will raise a presidency candidate tomorrow, and they say they are the right one. So anybody in his rightful thinking might need to leave. The earlier, the better. And then when we talk about a couple of other things, that is when I begin to ask myself some questions. Let's look at a couple of things that have already been put in place. If higher taxes, subsidy removal, and currency devaluation, like our current president has put in place, are necessary, are the very necessary sacrifice that Nigerians need to make, why is the cost of governance still rising while ordinary Nigerians are being asked to tighten their belts? And if productivity and prosperity are the goal, why tax people harder before creating jobs, stabilizing prices, and growing local production? These are questions I would like Mr. Bayode to address for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bayode. I mean, that also, correlates to the question I asked. How do you intend to sell your candidate to the Nigerian citizen in the coming election?
I've been listening to all the questions, and many of them were directed to a gamer, and but I want to make some things clear. One, I'll start with the position from Mr. Tini Afolabi that says Peter Obi has integrity. Peter Obi might have financial integrity from your own point of view, but his integrity is not absolute. So one of the things about integrity is you trying to resolve you abiding by what you've said, that some people are criminals, and you now going back to align with those criminals. So, and relating it to what Madam Priscilla said, that they must have talked. So, at what point did you read the compromise? Did you ever tell us what the compromise were? So, whichever way, maybe there are more. So, how did you arrive at, and how many months does it take you to change your ideology, your perception about those people? It never took you forever. You are just as like shapeless, and you don't even it's not even convinced about his own position. So it's changed like it's a case. So then that is one. Then number two, when we talk about Mrs. Madam Priscilla's position, that why is the cost of governance still high? See, when you want to bring about a change, there is a life cycle to these things. So we have the initiation phase, we have the steady to stabilize, we have to steady the phase before you now feel it. So it's just like when you're trying to dissolve a concentration, or to dissolve, or to improve a concentrated solution. So by the time you start introducing reagents into the concentrated solution, at first it doesn't seem like something is happening because it's still concentrated. So over time, you see a visible change. So you guys are making it like it takes 1 year to change a society. You're talking of over 200 million people, which virtually every one of us accepts that we have almost over half of it uneducated, whether academic education, whether the informal one. We are still at the base of every responsible or sane societies. So we cannot compare ourselves to those people. So when we say we have privilege of Western education, are we genuinely incorporating those things that these people, the pains, the societies you said you are privileged to be there, they've had, are we thinking in that direction for our people as well? Do you pay tax in Nigeria? Do you obey traffic laws in Nigeria? So it's easy for you to see the good side of the economy you are in, but it's not easy for you to think about what the compliance, the part of social responsibility of the people, and how they have complied with the society that make the society better. In this Germany, if you are in a bank, you don't have to, no one tells you to be on a queue. People will use their rational mind to know that when we are five, we form a line. So do you do that in Nigeria? No, but you want a Nigeria that the government says, oh, everything is 10 naira, then everybody buys everything. What is your own societal responsibility? You fail to discuss that. You always want a society where everything is as the cheapest thing. Every society, people suffer. People enjoy. It depends on your level of information. The Bible, to the Muslims, I'm sorry. The Bible says you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. The truth is not absolute. It's the truth you know. At the level of the truth you know that will set you free. The level of your understanding you know about how to manage your economy in a system where it's absolute, where you don't in over 70 years there's no road.
I think you can see the handwork of the APC. Now the
Please, can
trying
you
to
allow
avoid.
me
But
make use of my time? Can you
yeah,
allow me make use
They are
of
Mr.
my
digressing
Bayode,
time?
from the question.
you have 1
It does
minute.
not. No, I don't have.
Please,
I don't
please.
have to. When he interjects me, I stop the time.
Okay,
When he
yeah. So
interjects my conversation, I put a
you
stop to it. So my time
exactly,
is not
exactly.
running at this
But
point.
now
I'm just responding to him. Let me talk.
okay, to
Let
add
me
to you,
talk. He's been
Mr.
there
Bayode,
making
to
baseless positions about
to
his
to
leader.
to further support what Priscilla said now, and maybe to add to your question here, that you mentioned that everything is working, we can see what our tax is being used for. How do you tell that to an ordinary Nigerian? Because from what you have been saying now, you are trying to sell your candidate for the next election based on hope.
No,
So make
look,
it make
I'll
sense
go
to a
back to your
Nigerian.
question. I'm going back to you, but don't let's all forget that I think I stand to be corrected. I think the time they did the Berlin conference should be about 1886, February 20 something.
So these are you are comparing us with a country that they sat down to divide us. So these are countries that they have the capacity to come to you and sell glass to you, frame. Then you are saying that we should go to Konings Wusterhausen. You will see when they first initialized train. Peter Obi has condemned virtually everything Tinubu has been doing. They have condemned Lagos to Calabar, but many of them took it to the north to southeast for Christmas. But the ones that are still motorable there, they took it. But they are still blaming the Tinubu today because they don't want to face the reality. They cannot thank the opponent. Why can't you just own up to the responsibility that this man has done something? This is the first time in Nigeria that we think, whether you don't agree or not, you know that Nigeria is working towards some things like new tax regime. We've never had any discussion about tax system in the society. How can a society of 200 million does not have any framework of tax system in a country of 200 million? And you are here living in Germany that you know what, if you are married in Germany, you understand the tax class you fall into. If you are a single, you know it by default. What percentage, what fraction of your income is going to tax system? And you want us to live like a banana republic where everyone says, I'm not paying. You see this person not paying anything. And you say it's fine because he wants a bag of rice to be with 10 naira. That's your own understanding of a good society where everyone can just live like an unplanned society. Let us be planned for one time in our lifetime. If the plan is not as efficient as the way it should be, then the subsequent government will now reform it. They will review it. But let us
Mr.
take a
Bayode.
framework.
Yeah, let's stop
This thing. It's not
wonderful one.
about Peter Obi. And the last thing, you asked that, how will I sell a candidate? For someone who is owning up to his problem by saying that subsidy is gone from the first day, he is aware that it's not the last day, it's the first day. Let me face the problem. When I make that declaration, whatever, I cannot fix it in perfection of a framework without implementation. The best approach to things is implement, then reform it while implementing it. So let me implement this policy and see what is happening. Then it's just like an observer. It's just like you are trying to introduce the solution while we are going on, because it's a continuous exercise. So when he's doing it, when he's reforming it, then we are living it, then they continue to reform it. You don't say it's good on paper and you now implement it 10 minutes to go and we would have done it better. No, let us do it better. Let us face our problem. That is the quality of a good leader, to
Thank you
know
so
when to
much.
do things and
Thank
do
you
it
so
right.
much,
Not
Mr. Bayode.
someone who is running to where he can
Thank you
avoid
so much.
problem.
Yeah, okay. I
Madam
think
Priscilla,
I
sorry,
think
lastly, Madam Priscilla said it's good for people to move to avoid problem. No, a good leader should stay and see how he can solve the problem. It is after he's approaching it, he has approached it and it doesn't work, then he can say, oh, I've tried my best. The Labour Party were having internal crisis, but was not as obvious as when Peter Obi came. Peter Obi brought a lot of people into the party that disorganized the party. There are many of them from the APC, and they left before Peter Obi. Peter Obi cannot even manage his own vice presidential candidate. And you are telling me that this man that means, do you know what it takes to have a vice presidential candidate? And you are saying that, and another man said, he was referencing, it's not Fashola, it's not Tinubu that started the project of road project, it is Fashola, it is Ambode, it is former vice president. These are a product of Tinubu politically. So, and you said there's nothing like human development, but you have mentioned 3 people from that human development. So I don't really, you guys, in environmental world, we have what is called coherence. If you cannot be an integrity leader when you are not coherent, one of the first things you do is to align your thought. Peter Obi needs to align his thought with his obedience. You guys need to go and get yourself right. Politics is not about emotion.
thank you so much, Mr. Bayode. I think we have questions for you. I mean, this will be the last 2 questions. Mr. Collins, can you take over now? Unmute. Then afterward, Mr. Joshua. Mr. Collins, over to you, please. Is Mr. Collins there? If not, Mr. Joshua, please can you unmute and ask your question?
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I'm running family matters. So, Mr. Bayode,
yes, sir.
It's not about question, right? Let's start from the debt your Tinubu is owing. Now, he removed fuel subsidy. He froze Naira. he education subsidy, he removed it. And every benefit the ordinary man, ordinary people like me and you, he removed everything. Yet he has borrowed more than Tinubu, Buhari, Jonathan combined together in 3 years, in less than 3 years. Before Jonathan left, we have a debt of public debt, over 9.8 trillion. We always follow the statistics of our boss, Peter Obi, because we do things with facts and figures, right? Now, when Buhari came, he borrowed 87.3 trillion, right? Now, Mr. Tinubu, within 3 years, has borrowed almost twice the price. He is not subsidizing anything. What is the policy that you're talking about that is moving us in the right direction? You are talking about tax, and you are just opposing it with Germany, for example. If your Tinubu or whoever cannot manage our resources, we have a lot of resources more than these guys you are talking about here. We have everything that you can think of, every resources you can imagine. If these guys cannot manage our resources and make it for ordinary people like me and you to have access to it, is it my tax that he can manage? It's not about having a very good tax structure. It's very nice. But how can you gain the trust of the people? How the ordinary man cannot gain the trust of someone who cannot give accountability of how they run the government, the expenses and everything. We don't know what is happening with our oil. Till today, me and you cannot have access to electricity. This is a common thing that we can have, but we don't have it. What is the explanation? There is no policy. There is nothing that you can say that this is fiscal and this is what we are expecting. First of all, show people that you can gain their trust. Fix electricity. This is the most important thing. Security, electricity, life and property. This is the primary purpose of a government. And we are not even up to that in any way. The Tinubu, Buhari, and Jonathan, they have killed more people than these two guys combined together. In 16 years, combined, just oppose it with the 3 years. They have killed these people, killed people in the north, everywhere, more in 3 years. So what exactly are you? Can you tell me any area that you think your Tinubu is doing well, or what is on ground? It's not about having taxes. You mentioned about the coastal highway. That project is total rubbish. I'm sorry to say that. If you notice what happened this Christmas, check everywhere. There were a lot of hold up. There is the roads are not motorable. Fix the one that you have first of all. Let it be motorable. And ordinary people like me and you are using it, but we don't have access. Some people slept on their way for Christmas. They did not reach home for Christmas. They left on 24th and they got home on 26th. And you are building coastal. How many people use the coastal highway? Let's be realistic. So we don't have anything on ground. I cannot entrust Nigerian government with my tax when they cannot manage my resources. This is open. And my boss, Obi, told you that if you are not stealing, if you are not stealing, you have cut corruption into half by 50%. You have cut it. And believe me, I don't know how best Peter Obi can do things and everything. You cannot see Peter Obi's son going with the whole battalion of military. So you spend money carelessly. You are building house for VP. Billions of naira. But schools in Abuja are closed. Primary and secondary school, public school are closed. No, let's be realistic. Let's see what you are doing. Let the common man like me and you feel it. It's not about what is in the paper. Let's be realistic. And I'm not saying all these things. So I don't know how to, I'm just doing tautology, but this is how I feel. You are not giving us anything. You are the tax and everything. Man,
Can I respond to you?
thank you. I think I'm
I
done.
like the I
Thank you
like the
so much.
fact that
Yeah, Mr. Bayode, you answer it. Mr. Joshua, just ask your question, then we round up with that.
Good evening, everyone. Are you sure it's not better for Mr. Bayodi to answer the question? Because he will forget the answer.
No, he's smart enough to point that, yeah.
Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. So my questions are: when can we begin to see the results of Tinubu regime? We say we should give him time. He's running a government of ideology. When do these things start to materialize? Because I know that when Jonathan was there, nobody really gave him time. So the next question is: how do we trust someone that criticized subsidy removal when a sitting president was there and later said it was the next best thing, that we need, and did it on the first day? So is this government like based on lies? Is it someone that we can really trust, or is he just doing anything to get power? And the last question I have is: Tinubu has been giving more money to governors, right? And this money, there's no proper, how would I put it, accountability for these funds that's the money has been given. And they claim Nigeria does not have enough money, and they say Nigerians should hold their governors accountable. Why is Tinubu not holding the governors accountable? Why is there no proper accountability for the funds that is handing over to the governors? At least most of the governors now have all decamped to APC. You should be able to hold them, and tell them you need to work for your people. On if it's a truly a man of ideology, like you say, if it's truly a man that controls all the structures, you should be able to push them to do the right thing. And the last question is, Tinubu is spending more money. Is in fact, it's what he promised us during his campaign. He's going to widen the tax bracket, make Nigerians poorer, and that's what he's doing now. Should we consider that that's what Tinubu is there for, to make Nigerians really poorer? Because it's increasing the government expenditure. Government are getting more. They are not reducing their, how would I put it, their own spendings at all. So the government keeps how do we trust the government that keeps spending recklessly? They are increasing their own budgets. You see senators, I know Tinubu does not have control over that. They are buying new cars every tenure. So how do we trust a government like that? Thank you.
yeah, I'll start with your statement that you said in your own words that it cannot control such expenses. So it does not make sense for us to discuss that.
For the
Since you
senators, just for
Yeah.
the
So
senators, but the
just
rest,
with the
like,
governors as well. So he
for
cannot, because they are
no, no, no.
politically
He
elected.
he can because you mentioned that he's controlling the structures in his party. He's putting everything in order.
No,
He should be
one
able
thing is
to.
that there is a thing. You guys, we're not talking about Peter Obi here now. We're talking about a learned and intellectual. So we're talking about someone who understands that joining the party does not make you automatically a loyal APC member. So loyalty is earned. So loyalty is not just given. You have to earn it. Joining the political space does not make you a loyalist of the party. So that is one. Then number two, being being a governor automatically means that you are elected just like the president. So the president can have limitations about how he can poke nose or interfere into your expenditures. So having said that, you mentioned, Mr. Collins mentioned about if we cannot manage our resources, then how much more, how can he manage your thing? Then I want to respectfully tell him that exploration or mineral resources exploration is not something you just wake up one day and say, I want to explore next week. There are different phases to all of it. Then he referenced the power sector. We have different sectors in the power. We have generation, transmission, and distribution. So these are different these ones has different scope on their own. And you mentioned the Tinubu, good luck, Peter Buhari. Nigeria is a country that grows geometrically. So we still up to today, we are one of the few countries that does not have any policy to population control. So it's easy for you to mention those government periods and without mentioning the number of people that has been added to the system within those periods and now. And the resources does not increase. The resources then and now still the same, is going down. So because the higher the population, the lower the resources. We deplete them by and large. So in a society that is not under any framework of law that is being well implemented. So we have a lot of problems that you guys often trivialize. So it is better for us to wake up to our reality and not trivializing things like, oh, like it's buy and sell. No, we are talking of people that we are operating a democratic society where everyone is free to wake up one day and say, I want to go and explore something, even if it's against the law. Then it's okay for you to say government is responsible to go and secure that area. How much of the resources does the government have at the present time to go and secure every nook and cranny of the country? So everyone knows that it is government responsibility, but the reality facing us is that does the government have the existing structure to manage those securities that we want to be at the best, at the bespoke that you want it to be? That is always the point. So yes, you say I always deviate because my answer doesn't reflect what you want to hear. I'm not responsible for your understanding. All I'm responsible for is to tell you how it is. So you have the responsibility to face the reality. It is your responsibility to face the understanding of how you want a system to be and how it's been presently. Between 1999 and now, we have grown the number of the country by more than the size of Belgium. We have grown the number of the country by more than the size of an average European nation. Yet you keep talking about this number as if it's nothing. So the country, you cannot be in Belgium and not say you are in a country. That is an average is increase in number of population that we've added in the last 10 years of that country. An average household in Nigeria is more than 5. So you keep talking about Tinubu and you say you reference to Jonathan. Jonathan spent over 6 years. Tinubu has not spent up to 4 years. You are comparing them. And it's interesting. I like it that you compare them because you know that what Tinubu has done, we are talking of a government that we are talking about what he's doing, not we are trying to find what he has done. You've mentioned different things here. Under Tinubu, is on different project levels. He's talking about Lagos Calabar. You are talking of Bonny Island. You are talking of student fund, student loan. You are talking of excess oil reserve. You are talking of stabilizing the economy. You are talking about introduction of over 10 billion, over 50 billion into the investment system, the capital market. So if you go to the capital market, the stock sector, people are telling you this is the first time in history of the country where we're having gains from on the stocks. So you are saying it doesn't do anything. But what can you make an absolute statement? And we are all learned because this is a space for learned people. So we have to put emotion aside and give this man his own flowers. He has done well. The country is not where we want it to be, but the country is on the path of progress. So whether you believe it or not, I respect your opinion. If you don't believe it, I respect it. You are responsible for your understanding, and I'm responsible for my own understanding. So this is the first time in my lifetime that I've seen a leader who is owning up to his responsibility and not deviating from it, and not running from one party to the other because he feels that is where he will have a safe haven. No. So it's someone who wants to sit there, do the work, and get it done the right way. So I won't say much about Tinubu. We all see him. We all know if we have the opportunity to do a blind vote, you will vote for Tinubu. I am sure of that. Many of you will vote for Tinubu. But we are giving you opportunity to say it out. You are saying you don't like him. It's okay. We are not Nigerians. So before you became anyone, you were once Nigerian. So, but I respect it. If I openly
Thank
and
you so much,
in face, I will vote for Tinubu. If I have the
Mr.
opportunity.
Bayode. Thank you so much.
Okay.
It's really a nice here. And firstly, we give it out to speakers for actually standing firmly by their candidates. That's a nice one.
Yes.
And yeah, we hope it plays
No.
out as they've discussed. And I don't know if there's any question, and probably to any obedient here,
No, I think
Okay.
sorry, you.
You-
I was supposed to sell my candidate now, so I'm here to do that.
Okay, maybe you can do that, please, in
Uh,
2 minutes, please.
so I think it's selling Obi. Probably you forgot because selling Obi is out is one of the easiest things, and maybe that's why you got carried away because this is a man who needs no further
No,
introduction.
don't play me to that. Don't play me to that.
I'm actually very surprised, and well, these are interesting times that Tinubu has someone who could speak passionately about him. So for me, I give this to Bayo, but I also understand that he's doing this because he has not been to the grassroots, and I can assure him I will be ready to sponsor him to go to the grassroots and wear this Tinubu's cap and be able to explain his policies to an average man on the streets.
He has even
And let's see
removed the
the
cap. He
outcome.
has removed the cap. Yeah.
So, and again, I want to make it very clear that Tinubu has already sold himself out. If you remember, or if Boyo can remember this 3 years ago, Tinubu said, if I do not give you, I'm quoting him, these are his words, if I do not give you electricity in my first term, when I come, don't vote me. And when he said this, you know how he talks, and he responded again by saying, don't vote me. So he was very assured about this and said, no matter what it is, don't vote me if I don't give you electricity. Is there electricity as we speak in Nigeria? Has it gotten from good to better, or it has gotten from bad to worse? And I will leave the Nigerian population to judge this. When you talk about his recruitment of the army, Tinubu was one of the first people who actually preached and supported the state police. And he talked about how he was going to tackle the security situation in Nigeria. I also want to leave this to the Nigerian population to judge. Has security improved? The answer is certainly no. Every single policy that Tinubu had criticized in the past is what he's doing now. And he's not just doing it, he's making the situations worse. So this is not something. So I don't think I actually have much to do in terms of selling Obi out. Because the Obi's words are his bounds. There's nothing that Obi has said in the past that he has not been able. Go to Anambra. People say Obi did not build school, Obi did not do it, but he always tells you that he's there to improve things. And I believe that when Obi comes into power 2027, which is going to come, because it's going to be Nigeria against Tinubu and Nigeria against APC. No matter the structures you claim Tinubu has, Tinubu structures do not overpower the will of the people. 2023 was a lesson for us to learn, and we have learned these lessons. 2027 will not repeat itself. If Obi could do this without the support of the support of people like the Erufai, Atiku, and everything, let's see what 2027 is going to hold.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Agema. Just to wrap it up, Mr. Bayode, well, as a Nigerian, it is for you to defend your party anyway, but I mean, let's see how you want to sell the candidate in the coming election and how it will resonate with an ordinary Nigerian, because those are the people that will vote at last. And to Mr. Gema.
Are the members of APC aliens? Are they not Nigerians?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That
You
let's
are
see
saying how
how.
we sell it. Whenever 29 governors are already decamped, so are they not holding structures in their respective
The 12,
state?
the 12 states,
Like the governor of
the 12
Oyo
states that
State
Peter
said.
Obi won, the 12 states that Peter Obi won, none of them was a member of the Labour Party.
Yes,
No
I
governor was
agreed.
in that
I
state,
agreed
and yet he
because you
won the
can only
election.
be
So,
fooled. You can only be fooled once. You can never fool people two
but
times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's see
So you can
let's see how
fool
it will
them
play
once.
out.
Tinubu is a household name in Nigeria. So
Yeah,
whether you
okay.
like it or not, so you are talking about people as if there are some areas that they know ADC. So you will need those things. You need those numbers to go there and tell them what ADC means, what it means to them. So maybe you say
ADC is easier
Tinubu.
to be spread than Labour Party. Yet,
Oh, that is
Obi,
your assumption because of the likes of the people there. Don't forget that the people you are relying on, they lost their candidates in the last by-elections. El Rufai that you are referencing lost his own candidate in Kaduna.
You are referencing Bashar Ali, Bashar Lawal as if he has had any reasonable post after the 1980s. So, or you are talking about Peter Atiku that has once been sponsored by the same
What
Tinubu.
we need for Peter Obi are people who would protect his vote. Not Obi does not
Oh,
need.
okay. So now it is by having the
Yes, you need structure because of the kind of person
structures.
Tinubu is.
Okay. You think your structures are already in Ekiti, for example. Your ADC structures are already in Ekiti because of Osun State former governor. So I don't really understand what you believe that gives you that confidence to say that let's assume, without conceding, let's assume that Peter Obi will be the flag bearer of ADC. Does that automatically give him the victory? Is that your own illusion? Please wake up if you are sleeping. Please wake up.
Okay, thank you so
It's
much,
as good as
Mr.
gone.
Bayode.
Go and
Thank
wait
you,
till
thank you.
2031. Go and wait.
I
You will
think
be
it's
like 70 times.
he's still
Thank you.
banking on
Yeah,
the fact that
it is reasonable
Tinubu
for you to actually, defend your
he's still banking on
party
the
like
fact
that, Mr.
that the
Bayode.
likes of MC
And
Olomo
Mr. Agema
will
also.
defend.
Well, to me, just my own comment. It looks somehow for me to have someone who cannot actually resolve the problem of their party, and you know, but is only left one option to decamp
Our
from the
anchor,
party.
your
And
APC.
like I said, a party is just a microstructure of a nation. So if eventually your candidate makes it there,
Your opinion
he's
is
going to
wrong.
face more than the problem he's facing.
If we're going by this analogy, then you will not have Tinubu as the president, because if he cannot handle the smallest community, which is the smallest unit of a community, which is the family, if Tinubu cannot handle his family, then he should not be president. And you are talking about a political party. Tinubu
What
has
family?
not.
What family is that? What family are you referencing?
Has Tinubu been able to handle
This is
his
a man
family
that
well?
This is a man that his wife is a Christian, is a Muslim. This is a
Oh
man
my
that
God.
understands
Well,
cohabitation.
not
This
not
man
to
can live with
not to be
the
on
same
the
way
side
I'm
of
living with
anyone.
you.
Yep. Probably.
Mr.
To me, I don't know how, Mr. Bayode, how I mean, if you look at the
I've
situation of
lived with.
Nigeria now,
I've sorry.
it's really hard in Nigeria, and I don't understand how.
It's
I
hard
mean,
everywhere. It's
yeah,
hard
probably how you're
everywhere.
going to sell your
This is.
candidate. And to
It's
Mr.
hard
Gema,
everywhere.
I wish and I pray that maybe your candidate also makes it to the primary, because
People
even
work like
the
you guys in
dynamics
Germany.
the
People work
dynamics of
like you guys in Germany, in
the
Nigeria.
the
They are living
dynamics is
well
going to
too.
the dynamics is going
You
to
work
change.
well in Germany before you think you are comfortable. Try and lose your job in Germany. You know
Are there
it's hard
opportunities? Are
everywhere.
there
It is
opportunities
hard
for people to work
everywhere.
well in Nigeria? Are there
There are
So
opportunities for people
opportunities.
to work well?
Nigeria has more opportunities where you can wake up and think, oh, I want to have poetry here. You wake up every day. You say you want to sell something. You want to sell puff in the front of your home. Can you try it in Germany? Can you try it in Germany? There are many things Nigeria do for free that you have to go to school to learn in Germany before you get it done. So we are at the cruise stage where every opportunity people can manifest opportunities. An average people that migrate will first face the reality the first year and say, how
I
do I
will
survive
be.
before we adapt? So that is the reality.
thank you
People you
so
see on
much.
the street
Thank you
are
so.
spiffand. They are not people that never worked. Many of these people
This
are
is
retirees. They are retired. Their
Like,
pension does not suffice to live their livelihood in Germany. Go and read it. It
I
is
think
not about your
I
emotion.
think this
Go
is
and read it.
if you are a member of the if you are a member of this what is happening, if you are very awake with what's happening in Nigeria, you can
Mr.
understand
Bayo,
that
please position your cap very well. I
this
was
is
told
the
to.
new trend.
No,
This
this
is
is
the
my
new
cap.
trend
This
in
is my identity. If
this
you
is the
want
new
to,
trend in
I can
Nigeria. If
position
you
it because
actually want
anyway.
to get an appointment under the Tinubu's administration, Tinubu's administration is not based on competency. This is a man who recruits people who could defend him when there is nothing to defend. You
Let
can
Thank
me
you
see the
tell
so
you.
likes of
much,
Reno
Let
Mr.
me
moving
tell you. Do you
moving
Engineer.
know that?
Engineer
ambassadors.
again.
I think
Do you
very
know
sure
that
this is the
two core people,
plan. This is the plan.
two
I
core
think
people of Peter Obi has left them. The vice presidential candidate and his obedient movement leader. They have left Obi.
nobody
Peter
has
Obi.
left to be. Nobody
Oh
as at
my
the time
goodness.
that
Oh my
today.
goodness. I've forgotten this guy's name. Is the leader of the Obi youth faction.
That is still a support, and he came today to refute.
What do you mean by that?
That
To
he came to
repeat
debunk
what
that
he
he's
said
not vying for
yesterday.
any presidential seat. That these are I told
Okay.
you.
Like Dati is waiting for, in case Obi did not get the presidential candidate is
These
waiting
are
for him.
these are all your
He's
these are
waiting
all
for
your
him.
positions.
Okay,
I mean,
Mr.
I'm
He's
not
saying
diving
that
into
Positions of the
anything based
opposition.
on the.
Mr. is saying that Mr. On serious. I'm coming. If you don't know what you want, they will be tossed around. Peter Obi is being tossed around. This is a man that tells us that he has an ideology, but it does not. The ideology is not party bound. It is not people community bound. So if you want to build your own community, build it. Let us
But I
know
am
what you
surprised
stand
that
for.
people
Thank
look.
you so much. I mean, this
Mr.
is this.
Agema knows my stance for a very long time. We've
Yeah,
told him before, and Mr. Collins, both of them, we've met at different situations. We've had different
To turn on my,
conversations about these things.
I have to
They
turn on my
know
mic.
that they will still
Bayo,
lose just like 2023. They will lose.
Bayo, I have to turn my mic.
thank you so much. At least we've overshoot our time. Honestly, this is meant to be
The host,
1 hour program, and
the host,
now 2 hours.
the host,
Let
the
me
host,
just dive
the
in.
host.
Mr.
The host,
Collins,
you said something
we do
that
have this session every bi-weekly. You
no, guys,
understand? So
Having to
uh,
sorry, presenter, having to put Mrs. Priscilla to this conversation to support Peter Obi is what is I find so because Mrs. Priscilla and I saw another one,
Bayo,
Mrs. Phoebe. They are very beautiful people that they need not be involved in Peter Obi's game.
Bayo,
No, you cannot.
Bayo,
You
This
cannot. These people are more
before
intelligent to put emotion to it. They are more intelligent to put emotion to
you
it.
let the host,
Please stop it.
soon
Please
let
stop it.
are you trying, Mr. Barrett? Are you trying to, you don't want them to talk? Are you trying to,
No,
bind
I'm
them so
telling
that they
them
don't
they are
talk?
more. I've interacted with them whether by proxy or directly. I know
I,
that
I
these
think
people are fine people intellectually. They
cool,
should not be be added to this pool of
Mr. Bayo, you're already playing
so
politics on this line. So
okay.
you're playing politics.
No, these are people, they are fine people. So please,
Well,
whenever they let them stand alone in their world of illusion.
thank you
Don't
so
add them
much.
to,
Thank you
please.
so much, everyone,
before we close,
for joining. Mr. Agema, thank you so much for your contribution.
yeah, it's a
Mr.
pleasure.
Bayode, thank you so much, and all our participants, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can see a question about governors being giving double allowance. Actually, we are starting a series next 2 weeks that actually explain that and the responsibility of different people in offices also. The flyer will be out, and everybody will have special guests that can actually come to enlighten us about this, and we can ask our question. Um, well,
Sorry.
the point, yeah.
Sorry, before I leave, please. Please, I would like to advise them to go to Mr. Deji, Mr. Yodeji, to go and learn more about how good governance is being handled. So they know Mr. Yodeji. So they know him. So I don't want to go further. He's a former president in Germany, former Nazi. So please, please, they know, they are aware of that Deji. So they should go and learn more from him because they know his antecedents. So he can speak he can train them to understand what a good leader is.
Yeah,
So
Mr.
who
Deji
a
has
good
been lined
leader
up
is.
for one of our programs
So
too. So he's going
okay,
to
that would be
come. Yeah,
interesting.
he's going to come.
I
He's
will
going to
attend.
come.
I will
Yeah,
attend.
he's going to
Grace
come.
of
Yeah,
God.
he has been lined up also. So I think the whole idea, like I said, is not to um affect our personal relationship. It's just the politics, the discussion, the game, and the business. And we've learned one or two things, and probably when your candidates emerge, Mr. Gema, and the conversation is going to take another turn. And yeah, I wish everyone a wonderful weekend. This discussion is available on our YouTube channel. You can rewatch, and we do have this kind of program bi-weekly. We're going to post the flyer for everyone to see, and we encourage everyone to actively participate. Who knows? Maybe we are discussing about Peter Obi, we are discussing about Tinubu. Probably it might be your next, it might be your turn. We'll be discussing the other time. What will you do differently? Than these people we are discussing. So that's just the main idea. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend, and do enjoy your time. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for
having
having
us.
us.